6 years ago, President Bush vowed the people who brought down the Twin Towers would be brought to justice. The war in Afghanistan was launched for that purpose, but today Osama bin Laden is alive, releasing new videotapes, and Al-Qaeda remains in business. Much has changed in 6 years. That has not. And our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, is here. Brian?
Charlie, U.S. officials tell ABC News that Al-Qaeda's survival and resurgence is due in no small part to a safe haven it has established in Pakistan and a renewed flow of money from Saudi Arabia. Despite 6 years of promises, U.S. officials say Saudi Arabia continues to look the other way at a list of wealthy individuals sending millions of dollars to Al-Qaeda.
If I could somehow snap my fingers and cut off the funding from one country, it would be from Saudi Arabia.
In a rare public scolding, the top U.S. official in charge of tracking terror financing, Stuart Levy, told ABC News Saudi Arabia has dropped the ball.
When the evidence is clear that these individuals have funded terrorist organizations and knowingly done so, then that should be prosecuted and treated as real terrorism, because it is.
In Saudi Arabia, how many such people have been prosecuted?
As far as I know, there have not been any.
Not a single one?
No.
U.S. officials point to men like Yassin al-Qadi, a wealthy businessman, put on the U.S. and UN list of al-Qaeda financiers 1 month after the 9/11 attacks. Al-Qadi, who has consistently denied the allegation, remains free, still a prominent figure in the region.
And he remains designated to the United Nations for his material support to al-Qaeda.
U.S. officials say they are equally frustrated with what they call the empty promises of Pakistan to go after al-Qaeda's new sanctuaries in their country.
If they had specific information, they should share it with us, and we would go after them.
Can the U.S. trust Pakistan to do that?
Well, if the U.S. doesn't trust Pakistan, how can Pakistan be an ally of the U.S.?
A question many in the U.S. are also asking. With fresh funds and a new safe haven, Al-Qaeda has been able to recruit and train a new class of terrorists and send out a stream of new propaganda tapes. Just today, Osama bin Laden was seen on yet another videotape introducing the will of one of the 9/11 hijackers.
There is, in effect, a sanctuary in the northwest part of Pakistan, just like the sanctuary that used to exist before we invaded Afghanistan.
Tomorrow, John Negroponte, the #2 man at the State Department, will be in Islamabad once again to try to get Pakistan to do more to go after al-Qaeda. The Pakistanis, like the Saudis, insist they're doing their share. But more and more the questions being raised in Washington, with allies like these, Charlie, who needs enemies?
Our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, reporting tonight. Thanks.